कौन? प्रेम से उमापति महादेव की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Let us all stand as we begin this beautiful night, as we wave the divine light and we worship the divine Lord, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namo Namaha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jai Shri Radha Radha Radha. Om Jai Shri Krishna Krishna Krishna. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Om Jai Shri Radha Radha Radha. Om Jai Shri Krishna Krishna Krishna. Shri Radha Krishnaya Namah. Shri Radha Krishnaya Radhe. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. चंद्रमुखी चंचल चित चोरे सुगर सावरा सूरत भोरे राम श्यामा एक से जोरे श्री राधा कृष्णाय राधे. ओम जय श्री राधा राधा राधा. ओम जय श्री कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. Glories to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Shri Radha Bhava Bharahare संकट मोचन कृष्ण मुरारे. एक शक्ति के आधारे श्री राधा कृष्णाय राधे. ओम जय श्री राधा राधा राधा. ओम जय श्री कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. कस्तूरी कस्तूरी कुमकुम जुत बिंदा. चंदन चारु तिलक ब्रज चंद्र. सर्गलाजले लाल सुनंदा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. ओम जय श्री राधा राधा राधा. ओम जय श्री कृष्ण कृष्णा कृष्णा. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. श्री राधा कृष्णाय नमः. गोविंदा. श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण. 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 लक्ष्मीनारायण नारायण नारायण. लक्ष्मीनारायण नारायण नारायण. All salutations of Bhagwan Shri Krishna on this beautiful night. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Vasudevaya, 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 Vasudevaya. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Asli ji sab log, let us all take our seats. As we begin this beautiful night, my dear friends, we like to take this golden opportunity to say Swagatam, Namaskar, and a cordial welcome to each and every one as we begin this second night of our wonderful yajna, paying pranams and adorations to our Lord Shri Krishna. As we begin this night with prayer, with love and with devotion, once more Swagatam, Namaskar karta hu sab log, to all our bhaktas and devotees who would have traveled from far and near to be here. Special welcome to all those who have sacrificed your moments to simply adore the feet of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. To our Panditji, we say special welcome. To all the Kirtan Mandalis, to all the devotees who sang earlier, special blessings to all. To all those who traveled from far, as Bhaiji said earlier, to all lovely devotees coming from all the way from New Hope, Good Hope. We say Good Hope. From New Hope, we say special welcome on this beautiful night. To the devotees of the various mandirs who are here, we say Swagatam. I see Bhaiji Mahesh, one of our wonderful devotees, and his entire family, Swagatam. And to all those who tuned in via Facebook, wherever you are in the world, we specially welcome you to our beautiful yajna. Without further ado, let us all sit upright. Let us close our eyes so that we can begin our night with prayer, with salutations to Shri Krishna, as we begin with Omkara 3 times. Om. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakote Samaprabha Nirvighanam Kurme Deva Sarvakadeshu Sarvada Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Durga Rupena Sanstita Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Sanstita Namastasya, 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 Namo Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Saraswati Rupena Sanstita Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Namastasya, 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 Namo Namaha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Mano Buddhyahankar Chitta Ninaham Na Shastro Hajive Na Chakranaletra Na Cha Vyoma Bhumirna Tejo Na Vayu Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupa Shivoham Shivoham Ulyanya Sindhu Salilam Salilam Yashokavahi Janakatmajaya Ajanate Neva Tadahalanka Namamitam Pranjalyanjaleyam Manodavam Marutatulyavegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanarayutamukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prabhade Om Shri Hanumate Namaha Om Shri Hanumate Namaha Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. We begin this beautiful night with salutations to Lord Hanumanji, praying for that inspiration from deep within our hearts and our consciousness. We pay adorations to Mahavir Swami, the greatest Bhakta of Bhagwan Shri Ram, Rama Bhakta, Ramaduta. Salutations to you, Lord. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raja Vijamana Mukura Sudha Varna Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha Buddhihina Tanu Janike Sumirao Pavana Kumar Balabhuti Vidya Dev Mohi Arahu Kali Sarika Mangala Bhavana Amangala Hari Drava Usudasharata Ajara Vihari Sukhakarta Jai Jai Hanumanta Dukhaharta Jai Jai Hanumanta. All together, Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki Jai. Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jai Kapishati Uloka Ujagar Ramaduta Tulsa Baladhama Ajani Putra Pavan Sutta Nama Mahavir Mahavir Vikaram Majarangi Kumati Nivar Sumati Ke Sangi Vachana Varana Viraj Suvesa Anand Kundala Kunchit Kesa Hata Vajra Aur Dwaja Virajai Kandhe Mooj Jane Sajai Shankar Suvan Kesare Nandan Nij Pratapa Mahajagavandan Vidyavan Vidyavan Guni Ati Chatur Rama Taj Karibe Ko Atur Prabhu Charitra Sunibe Ko Rasiya Ram Lakshmana Sita Mana Basiya मंगल भवन अमंगलहारी जवौ सुदशरथ अजर विहारी सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय। Glories to Mahavir Swami. Everybody go. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति के ने बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत समभाई सहस वदन तुमरो जस गावे अस कई श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सर्गाधिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा नारद शारद सहित ईसा यम तु वेद दिगपाल जहाते कवि को विद कही सके कहाते तुम पुकार सुग्रीव के राम मिलाय राज पर दीना मंगल भवन मंगलारे जवौ सुदशरथ अजर विहार सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंत दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता Everybody all glories to Bajrang Bali Shri Hanuman। तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय तब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्योताई मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मिल मुकमाई चल दिलांग गए अचर जनाई दुर्गम का जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे हो तना गया बिन पैसारे सब सुकल है तुम्हारे शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपण तेज समारो आपै जिनहु लोक हांकते कापै भूत पिशाच कट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे मंगल भवन मंगलारि तवौ सुदशरथ अजर विहारी सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता दुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय। रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान चुरावै मर्दम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों युग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नवनिधि के दाता असवर दीन जान के माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दाता मंगल भवन मंगलहारी तवौ सुदशरथ अजर विहारी सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता जय जय हनुमंता सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता दुख हरता Glories to Bajrang Bali। भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म की दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाय जहाँ यहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय और देवता चित्त न डरै हनुमत से सर्व सुख करै संकट कटे मिटि सब पीरा सुमिर हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाम दोष बार पाँच कर कोई तुझहि बंदी महासुख होई जो यहाँ पर हनुमान चालीसा हुए सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास दार तेरा की जयनाथ हृदय महादेरा मंगल भवन अमंगला कबौ सुदशरथ अजर विहार सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता 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 सुख करता जय जय सुख करता जय जय हनुमंता 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 पावन तनय संकट हरण मंगल मूर्ति रो राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुरभु पवन सुत हनुमान की जय बजरंगबली की जय As we begin this beautiful night, my friends, once more we say Swagatam, Namaskar Karta Hu Sab Log. To all our devotees, we say special Jai Sitaram to each and everyone. Tonight we are about to join once more in the golden pages of Bhagwatam and we connect to our scripture once more with Mahashiva Puran. For it is said, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, as we stopped and we ended the Katha last night, Bhagwan Shri Krishna, he sits in his beautiful palace in Mathura. But his first cousin by the name of Uddhav, he gave him a letter and he said to him, I want you to take this letter back into Vrindavan and you will see all my gopis and you will see all my loved ones and you will see my foster parents. You will see Yashoda Maya, you will see Nanda Maharaj. I want you to take this letter. And in this letter, Bhagwan Shri Krishna purposely he writes something. Bhagwan Shri Krishna purposely writes on that letter where he's inviting all the gopis and all the gopas to forget about him, not to think about him, to forget about his existence, to forget about loving him and cherishing him. And Uddhav has been the one who has been the instigator for the Lord to be like this. Bhagwan wants to teach him a lesson. It says when you think you're too high, Bhagwan will teach you a lesson to come back right down. They say there's no way higher than the point that you will reach at one point. After on top, you must come back down. It's only humility that will make you who you are. It is only being humble that will allow you to achieve anything that you want in the world. Because an egoistic person is a person whose heart is filled with thorns. An egoistic person is one whose mind is destroyed by the lust, the greed, the temptations, the anger, the hatred, by the malice, by the negativities of the world. And a humble person is always open-minded and ready to be at it. As we begin this night, Bhagwan Shri Krishna is about to be adored. He sits in his palace and he's stressed out because he doesn't know how to tell the gopis that he wants to leave. He doesn't know when he will go back. And he sends his cousin, and the cousin leaves Mathura and he goes to Vrindavan. And upon entering the gateway of Vrindavan, some of the gopis see a stranger coming in, and you're wondering, who's that stranger? Somebody on a horse, a stranger, we've never seen him before. I wonder who he is. Is he Bhagwan Shri Krishna who has come back? So they all gather themselves and they're about to go back to the gateway to meet this stranger and to meet this person. And while they're going, they're excited because they know in their minds that their Lord would never leave them. Do you think God will ever leave you? Do you think Bhagwan will ever forsake you? Do you think Prabhu will ever leave the strength and the energy and the inspiration that he has given to you from birth until this point? The only time you'll ever feel rejected by Bhagwan is when you yourself reject Prabhu and you refuse to pray the right way, or you refuse to do the right things when it comes to spirituality. And then internally and mentally, you will feel as though you're not doing good enough. But if you hold on to Prabhu, then Bhagwan will never leave you. He will stand with you. As we begin our night, we join in a chant to Shri Krishna, and we invite all to sing along, to take part and receive your blessing. For it's a divine night, the second night of our yajna. Everybody with one voice. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. I think we could do a little better than that. There are people all on the outside. Shri Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki. One voice to Bhagwan Gopal. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By yourselves, all together, bolo. Hare. A little more volume. Hare. Rama. I want to tell you all a little story before I get into this katha. Let me tell you about this story. One day, on the cremation site, there was one sadhu who was walking by. And on the cremation site, he saw some people holding their loved one in a box, lifting them, and they were walking. And while they were walking, when you take somebody to the cremation site, what do you say? Ram Nam? How you say it? Ram Nama? You say Ram Nam Satya Hai. And the sadhu saw everybody taking this body on their shoulders. And everybody was saying Ram Nam Satya Hai. But to his surprise, the man inside the box was not saying anything. Of course. So he questioned and he said, but you know what? Something looked wrong about this thing. So he saw a little boy and he called him and he says, Beta, come. I want to ask you something. How come everybody saying Ram Nam Satya Hai, but how come the man in the box not saying anything at all? And the son laughed at him and he says, oh sadhu, pagal ho gaya? Have you gone mad? The man in the box is not alive. How could he say anything at all? And then he thought about it and he says, oh, okay. So now I understand. So what you're trying to tell me is this. And he spoke the same words and he just turned it around a little bit. So you're trying to tell me now, so the man inside the box is not alive, so he can't see anything. But the people who are outside, they are alive and they could chant Ram Nam Satya Hai. Oh, now I get it. So he says, son, listen to me now. While you're growing up in life, everywhere you go in the world, from this day onwards, wherever you see a congregation chanting the name of Prabhu, know that they are alive. And if there may be people in that congregation who don't chant the name of God, they are as good as a man inside our what? Inside our what? Yeah, boy. Inside our box. Anyone of you in a box here tonight? No. So don't open the avaz. When you're arguing with one another, how do you argue? You shout, right? You scream, all the neighbor hear you. Everybody upstairs, downstairs, everybody hear you. Well, utilize the voice, the avaz, and sing for our divine Lord. One voice. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. Krishna Kanhaiya Lal ki. And then now wake up. Hare Krishna, Hare. Bolo. Krishna. Jai Narayan. Hare Rama. Rama Rama Hare. एक बार और, one more time सबको प्यारी. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Rama Rama Hare Hare. We sing for Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopal. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We sing and we clap tonight for Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala. Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Radhe 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 Shyam, Radhe Govinda, Murali Madhava Radhe Shyam, Radhe Gopala, Radhe 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 Shyam, Radhe Govinda, Murali Madhava Radhe Shyam, Radhe Gopala, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, 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 Rama Rama. Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Radhe Govinda, Radhe Gopala, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. बोलिए सबको, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare go on back in the box or what? Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. एक बार और बोलिए Rama Rama Hare. Bhagwan Shri Krishna in our Gatha, he stays in Mathura, and Uddhav, his big cousin, his first cousin, goes to Vrindavan. When he enters Vrindavan on his chariot, everybody sees a stranger entering the village. And everybody thought that nobody strange will just come here. So probably it's Bhagwan Shri Krishna who has come back. So everybody gathered themselves, all the gopis and all the Kalhot boys and everybody. They gathered and they went now to see who this was. And they were so happy, they were excited because they thought to themselves, Bhagwan Shri Krishna has come. But when they reached now to the front, they saw somebody else and they stopped now and they started speaking amongst themselves. But who is this person that we've never seen before? They all looked at one another with disappointment. Have you ever heard in life sometimes you must never have an expectation? Because you never know with the expectation you will be disappointed. Life can throw so many things at you every single day. Maybe on your job, maybe in your home, maybe in your personal life, maybe in your school. Sometimes when we have too much of an expectation, sometimes we can be set up, as we say, or we can be disappointed. Bhagwan says, no, that everything happens by His grace and His compassion. What is to be, will be. What is will to happen, it will happen. But at the same time, do you know that you can will things to happen the way you want it to happen? Yeah? How many people believe that you can create your own destiny? Put up the hands. Yeah? How many people believe that you can't change your destiny? How many people have hands? Pop your foot. Nobody put up their hands. Bhagwan has put you on the earth to create a path, but He has also designed a path before you came into the world. I always remind Bhaktas that do you know before you come into the world, Bhagwan gave you the choice to choose your mother and choose your father? Do you know Bhagwan gave you the choice to choose the people that you want in your life, the ones that you will associate with, the ones that you will stay away from? Today, while Bhagwan Shri Krishna is nowhere to be seen, the gopis and the cowherd boys, they've seen somebody else and they are disappointed because it's not their Lord. So they started to question themselves now. Why are we so excited when Bhagwan is not here? So they walked up to the stranger and they started asking, Karnu, tum naam kya hai batao? Tell me, who are you? Where are you from? Kahan se aaya? And at that point, he puts his hands together and he has the letter in his hand. And he put his hands together and he says to all the people of Vrindavan, I have brought a message from that divine one called Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And he's standing there and he's holding the letter in his hands. And they hear Shri Krishna. Have you ever in your life, when you hear of a particular name, you get excited? Have you ever at any point in your life, when you hear the name of probably a God, you get excited? That ever happened to you all? Has it ever happened when there's a festival coming and maybe you're a devotee, a bhakt of Lord Hanumanji, and Sri Hanuman Jayanti is coming and you say, what? Sri Hanuman, and you say, wow, Hanuman Baba, I love him. Or maybe Sri Krishna Janmashtami and you can't wait because the days, we are counting down the days. When you hear the name Krishna, you say, oh God, yes, I feel nice now, Krishna. It brings a different bubble in your heart. Or maybe somebody's name. Maybe a little boyfriend or a girlfriend. Or maybe your husband or a wife. And when you hear the name, you say, yeah, boy, I feel nice, boy. How you call it? You say you get butterflies, huh? Have you ever heard a name in which that name brings something in your heart and in your life? When they heard Krishna, they heard nothing else but he said. He says, I bring a letter in which Bhagwan Shri Krishna couldn't come, but he sent me. And they said, Krishna? Krishna, where? He says, no, listen to me. He couldn't come. And they say, oh, okay. No problem. They only heard Krishna, they forgot about everything he said because they were so excited. But then they were disappointed because we didn't hear that word or the name of the Lord being there and then. So being disappointed, he holds up the letter in his hands and he says, today this letter has come from Shri Krishna. And before he could even open the letter to read it, one gopi grabbed it out of his hands and snatched it away. Shri Krishna sent this? Well, if we send this, I want to see. And another gopi grabbed on one end and another gopi came in and one of the cowherd boys says, that's my friend. And he grabbed on the other and they were all fighting for the letter. And while they were pulling and tugging on each end, Jai Bhagwan. the letter broke into pieces. It burst into pieces. And while it burst, pieces of the letter was falling apart. And while it was falling apart, they didn't care what was in the letter, but they held on to pieces and pieces of the paper, and they held it. Shri Krishna, write on this. Bhagavan Krishna, write on this. You know what? I'm holding on to this. They felt so close to Bhagavan Gopal because he wrote on that piece of letter. Hearing anything that comes from Bhagavan is a blessing. Do you know how fortunate we are to be here tonight to just listen to the Katha, the pravachana of our Lord? Do you know how lucky we are to be in the mandir, and at the end of the yajna, we'll be getting prasad and offerings that would have been offered to Prabhu? Recently, I was talking to some devotees, and I was in the other mandir, and we were talking about the offerings. How lucky are we to get an offering of prasad or the panchamrit, the charanamrit, or even something in the mandir to partake of? Do you know in India, when you have a yajna or you're having a big congregation in which there's a religious service, sometimes the guru comes and he takes a coconut and he cracks the coconut and he grung, and when it breaks in pieces, who get? Who don't get? Well, sorry, no parsad for you. That is the parsad. It breaks into pieces, and whatever pieces come out, that's your parsad. We are lucky to be given this opportunity tonight, to be here, to listen, to understand, to transform your life into something else after understanding the messages of our Katha. When the letter was burst into pieces, nobody understood anything. Uddhav stood up and he says, here's what, I realize nobody knows what is going on here. Uddhav says, I will have to explain everything because nobody understands that Lord Krishna is not here, but Bhagavan Shri Krishna has given me a message to each and every one. And I'm about to narrate this message to all of you who are here. And while he's about to tell them, everybody wants to hear what Lord Krishna has said. And they're waiting anxiously to hear what the Lord has to say. Because the Lord, He has set up the entire scene and something will come about. Now Lord Shiva sits in Kailash Parvat and Parvati Mata sits next to him. And Lord Shiva says, you know, this world is filled with so much of maya and illusion. There's so many temptations outside there and so many forms of illusion that we get lost into the world and we forget our purpose. If I ask you tonight, what is your purpose? What is your purpose in life? What will you say? What is your purpose? Anybody? Go to school, get my education, get a job. Think beyond that. What is your purpose in life on the whole? Why are you here? Kahan se? Kahan ja raha ho? Where have you come from? Where do you plan to go? Where will you live? Where will you go one day when you die? What is your purpose? You know what? Think about it like this. According to Vedantic philosophy, it is said, think about the ocean that creates a big wave and it falls into ripples. And when it falls into ripples, you get little bubbles and little bubbles that come out everywhere. At some point, these bubbles feels as though they are greater and better than the entire ocean because they are individual bubbles by themselves. We are like the bubbles. The ocean is the divine Lord. What is our purpose? To go back into the ocean and to become one with the ocean and realize that we are not just a little bubble, we are the ocean. What is our purpose? One day in this world we will depart and we will die, and then we will realize that while we left, we were only wasting time here because the goal was to achieve as much spirituality as you can so that one day when you die, you won't go to heaven or you won't just enjoy the heavenly life, but you will merge and become one with God and you won't have to ever come back. You will eternally be happy and blissful. That is the purpose of life. To pray every day, to glorify Prabhu as much as you can. So when you die, you never come back. How many people want to come back here? Some people say, yeah boy, here, nice boy. But here, this world, this materialistic plane, it is filled with happiness but sorrow at the same time. It is filled with what you call raga dvesh, or pairs of opposites. Good and bad, happiness and sorrow. Good health and sickness. It is filled with all the pairs of opposites. Who wants to come here? Do you know in your older days if you'll be healthy and strong or if you'll be suffering and lying on a bed for years? Nobody knows. According to the stages of life, the 4 stages: birth, disease, old age, and one day, death. That is life. 4 stages. Birth, everybody will take birth. Disease, at some point our bodies will become filled with some form of illness or sickness. We will get old. And then one day, we will die. What is your purpose? Think in a higher perspective. Lord Shiva says, Parvati Maya, look down on the earth. Look at our Lord as He plays the tricks on Uddhav and the Gopis. And while He explains, a beautiful song goes like this. हे शिव शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय Everybody बोलो let us start हर हर महादेव ओम शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् ओम शिव परात्परा शिव ओंकारा शिव तव शरणम् हे शिव शंकर भवानी शंकर उमा महेश्वर तव शरणम् ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हरि ओम नमः हे वृषभध्वज हे धर्मध्वज साम्ब सदा शिव तव शरणम् हे वृषभध्वज हे धर्मध्वज साम्ब सदा शिव तव शरणम् जगदीश्वर पिनाकपाणि विनयन शंकर तव शरणम् ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शंकर भुजंग भूषण तव शरणम् हे अविनाशी कैलासवासी पार्वतीपति तव शरणम् ॐ नमः शिवाय सबको प्यारी ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर महादेव It is said amongst all the gopis and all the cowherd boys, after realizing that they're holding on to a piece of the letter, then they started to think, you know what, I wonder what is there in this letter, but we can't put it together anymore because the letter has been burst into pieces. At that point, Uddhav, he says, well, you all sort it out, see if you can put it together. But in the meantime, I want you to understand that the Lord has sent a message. He says to each and every one of you in Vrindavan, You all need to forget the attachment of the emotions that you have towards him. He cannot come back to Vrindavan. So you all must let go of the emotions. And they stood up there and they kept staring at him. It is said in silence they stared at Uddhav. And in their mind, you're telling us to forget the person that we love? You're telling us to forget the one whom we have deep sympathy and love for? Do you understand what is the love that we speak of? And he says, yes, it's just an emotion. You will get over it. You can just let it be. And at that point, they look at him and they said, you don't know the love of a devotee for the divine Lord. It is blissful. It is divine. The love that you should have for God, my friends, should be one that nobody should be able to break. It must be one that is solid and concrete, as we say. And at that point, Uddhav says, but while I see all the gopis here, one is missing. Can you tell me? Where is that one that Shri Krishna loves dearly? Because I need to speak to her and tell her how to move on without her Lord. And one of the cowherd boys, he points in a direction and he says, there she sits. Go beyond the trees. And she sits by the nadi, by the river, and she thinks of her Lord every single moment. Om Namah Shivaya. 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 He Shiva Shankara, Bhavani Shankara, Uma Maheshwara, Tava Sharanam. बोलिए Om Namah Shivaya. Everybody loudly बोलो Om. एक बार और Om Shivaya. Hari Om Namah. Shiv Vrindavan mein Hari Lal ki. It is said when Uddhav, he walked away, one of the cowherd boys says, I know who you're asking about. You're asking about Radharani. They love one of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Listen, go over there. Past the trees, deeper into the forest, there's a nadi, there's a river. She sits there. Every single day, she thinks of her Lord. You think you could go and tell her to think of Bhagwan Krishna? Well, good luck. Go. He says, well, what has to be done, has to be done. So he gets up now and he walks away from everybody. And he leaves them in trance. And when he walks deep into the forest, he starts to wonder now. It was hard enough to distract the gopis and the cowherd boys to not think about God. How to distract this one person now? They're still there and they're all saying that they're in love with Shri Krishna. How to distract them? He realized that the task that he was set out to do was no easy task. He starts to think now, you know what? Probably it was best Shri Krishna would have come himself. That would have been the best thing. So he now walks down and he goes to the nadi and he's about to find the Devi. And when he reaches closer, in a distance, he sees her sitting on a rock. Her feet is touching the water and she plays with the water, the beautiful nadi. And while she's there, she's only saying, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. She only chants the name of the Divine Lord with every breath that she takes, waiting for the Lord to come. And at that point, Uddhav stands behind her and he sees and he hears her chanting. And he's preparing himself how to give this speech so that he can break her mind. Like I had mentioned last night, in life many people come to break your mind when it comes to your prayer. Many people try to distract you. Many people try to stop you from prayer and love and devotion when it comes to God. But remember, the only thing that you know for sure in this world is God. Nothing else is sure. Not even this body, not even life in itself, not even everything that we acquire is sure. But you know that Bhagwan will always be there. He will always give you the driving force to fight and to rise above temptations and distractions of the world. Today Uddhav stands and he looks at the Divine Mother, Devi. And when Radharani sits there, she's playing with the water, chanting Krishna. You all know that song? Jo to mitana chahe Jeevan ki trishna. Everybody? Jo tumi Jeevan ke subah shama. Let me hear one more time. Jo to mitana chahe. Say it again. Jeevan ki wa. So it is not Krishna, right? Is what? Trishna. What does Trishna means? Trishna means what? Anybody know? Trishna means thirst. Trishta, thirst. Thirst for who? Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Have you ever heard this one? Isko pee kar aur pila kar. Isko pee kar aur pila kar. Ban ja tu matwala, matwala, matwala. Hari naam ka pyara. अरे पीले 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 हरि नाम का प्यारा. Thirst for whose name? Bhagwan. Hari naam ka pyara. Thirst for the name of the divine Lord. Today in our scripture, Radharani sits there and she doesn't see anything but Krishna. And Uddhav builds courage now and he walks up to her and he says, you know what, it is time. I need to tell her what has to be done. He says, Radha, and she turns around and she turns back. She doesn't pay attention. He's a stranger. And she continues, Krishna, and she's staring at the water. Are Radha, I am Uddhav, the big cousin of Shri Krishna. And she hears Krishna. Did you say Krishna? That name attracts everybody. I am the big cousin of Krishna. Okay, where's Krishna? He looks at her and he says, Radha, I want to tell you something. You know what? I don't mean to say it in a bad way, but you need to forget about Lord Krishna, you know. Because Lord Krishna is a personality. He is your Lord, but He's not going to come back to Vrindavan. So you need to get rid of Him in your thoughts. I think instead of suffering yourself, you need to move forward and move on. You're not going to find Him. And she looks at him and she says, what do you mean? He says, well, Lord Krishna is not going to come. As long as you're sitting here and as much as you could chant, He's not going to come. And she says, who tell you that? Who tell you my Krishna is not going to come? My Krishna is here. Did you ask that? She says, don't think you can come and He'll speak, my God. Have anybody ever come by you and bad talk your God? Have anybody ever come by you and say, hey, you see that Murti you're worshipping? That thing no good, you know. Don't worship that Murti. Have anybody ever come up to you and say, hey, you need to change your culture and your religion and everything because what you're doing is not right? You know what? After doing comparative religion, many young people today think that the easy way out from Hinduism is to look for the other religions because it's probably easy. But let me tell you something. If you know comparative religion and if you know how other faiths they coexist, everybody has similarities to what we do. We just don't hear about it much. There are many things in many different religions that is practiced today and even long ago, but nobody speaks about it. And we think that, you know what, maybe our prayers have too many little things to do. You know what, I think the other way is easier. Because we look for shortcuts in the world. We look for easy things. But you know what I say? Easy come. Easy come, easy. Easy go. Life is not easy. Nothing is easy in the world. You have to work hard for what you want. And whatever you work for, it will last a lifetime. But you have to work for it. Children today are getting things handed down to them. Mommy and daddy working hard and they say, here, take. Unless you don't teach them how to work for what you have worked for, they won't know how to appreciate it. Teach them how to work. Teach them how to sacrifice. Teach them how to give up things and work hard to achieve their goals and their aims in life. Today, when Bhagwan Shri Krishna sits in Mathura, he's uneasy and he closes his eyes for a second to look through the third eye to see third eye vision. And through Divya Chakshu, he spots now Radharani. She's sitting on the rock. And he sees Uddhav speaking to her and he smiles because he wants to see how Uddhav is going to shake the faith of Radha. Some people are so easy to just shake their faith, tell them, hey, you know what, that's not going to work enough. Alright, well, you know what, it's alright, no problem. When will we stand up on the inside and say, no, you know what, no, I will make it happen. There's what you call, my friends, an inner strength that we all have. Bajrangabali, Pavanaputra, Mahaviri Swami. It is said Pavanaputra stood on the banks of the ocean. And he looked across the ocean, and in the meantime, Jamwant and the bears and the monkeys, they were saying, you know, somebody had to cross this ocean and go and find Sita Devi and see if she's there. Hanuman Baba stood there, and while he's saying everybody speak about it, at that moment, it doesn't even dawn to him. He's just looking at the ocean and he's just thinking, well, you know, probably somebody will go. Somebody will cross and go across. When Jamwant walks up to him, and Jamwant says now, he says, Pavanaputra, don't you remember who you are? Do you all know who you are? We've given an example like the ripple in the ocean. Have you acknowledged who you are? As much as you can, you have a destiny and you have karma and you have so many things in your path. If you live a religious life, a divine life, a good life, when your spirituality reaches at a level, then you can will things to happen. Tell me if this has ever happened to you. Have you ever one day in a week you wake up and you say, you know what, I feel to eat baigan choka and roti, bhai. And nobody making baigan choka and roti for you. And then Monday come and you go to work or you go to school and you get something, you get bora. And then Tuesday come and you get dal and something else. And then you just say, you know what, I want this baigan, boy. But you come home and mommy have no baigan. So you say, well, I don't know, but I want this thing so bad. You know, that feeling of I just want it so bad. And then one morning by surprise, you wake up now and time to go to school or go to work and mommy say, baigan choka and roti. And you say, wait, boy, I wanted this thing so bad. I was just thinking I want this. And by wanting it, I didn't know I was going to get it and I just get it. Has ever, to any one of you, you want a promotion in your job or you want something in particular and you're aiming for it in your mind and you know you can't achieve it. Maybe you don't have the money to buy something. Maybe you don't know how to work around to get it. But every day, I just wish that could happen. I just want it. You know, I don't know how it will happen. But one day, I just wish. And all of a sudden, bam, something happens and you just get it. You say, if I tell you, I wanted that thing so bad and like, Bhagwan, bring it for me. It is not a miracle, you know. When you have that burning desire, in Sanskrit it is called the mumukshutvam. The word in itself means when you have a burning desire to want something willfully, you make it happen. It is a way and a medium of controlling the universe through your universe within and willing the universe to bring it to you. Bajrangabali never thought that he could cross the ocean. And Jamwant came and whispered in his ear. And he says, listen, remember who you are, you can do it. And then he closed his eyes and he chanted the name of God. How to will anything to happen? Ram, Ram, Ram. And a beautiful verse says this. Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Shri Rama Jai Rama Jai Jai Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Everybody let us clap, come on. Binu sat Vishnu Jai Shri Ram Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Oh Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram. Everybody bolo Shri Ram Jai Rama. Bolo Shri Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jai Rama, Jaya Shri Rama Jaya Rama. Bolo Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Rama Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki. It is said in order to find something positive in our hearts, Radharani says to Uddhav, she says, what are you telling me? Forget about my Lord. My Lord is here with me all the time. I can't forget about him. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. He's here, there, and you all see him? Where is he? Where is he? Show me. Jai Bhagwan. Olele more lost than me. Where's Bhagwan? One day, when Meera Bhai, when she sat there in the beautiful mandir, she sat down and she prayed to Bhagwan Shri Krishna with all the love in the world. It is said her husband, her in-laws, people of the village, they came and they said to her, every single day you're running to the mandir. Will God save you? And she sat down there at the feet of the Murti of Shri Krishna in one of the little mandirs of Bhagwan Krishna. And at that point, it is said, feeling hurt from deep within, she says, I'll show you today where my God is. You question my God? I will show you where my God is. And she sat down and she closed her eyes. You all remember that beautiful song that was sung? Listen. Shama teri bansi pukare, Radhana Shama teri bansi pukare Radhana Log kare mera to yogi varna Log kare mera Yogi Varana. She sat there and she says, you know what, I will show you where my God is. And she closed her eyes and she says, Jai Shri Krishna. And all the doors in the mandir shut tight and she was locked inside. And the wind started to blow as much as it could have. And they heard her saying, Jai Shri Krishna on the inside. And in seconds, the wind just stopped. And you know what? As soon as all the wind had stopped, the doors just released itself. And as soon as it was released, the husband walked into that mandir and he says, Meera. And she was nowhere to be seen. But you know what? Her scarf remained. Her chadar, her shawl remained. It was wrapped around the murti of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. And her voice was heard there and then. And it says, I resided in her heart every single day. Now today she will reside in mine. Where is Bhagwan? Is he physically in our hearts? No, he can't be physically in our hearts, but spiritually and divine, he is there within. One day there was one artist who came to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. It is said he walked into the chambers of Mathura, and Bhagwan Shri Krishna saw him. He would set up his entire canvas, he will draw everything. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna stood in front of him and he says, well, draw me too now. And this artist now decided now to draw. He says, Shri Krishna, stand right there. And he starts to create now the borders of what he will draw, the image of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. He took about 2 or 3 hours to just do the framework of what he had to draw. And then at the end of it, he then closed down his page and he says, well, okay, Shri Krishna, I will go back home now and complete the entire thing perfect. And tomorrow, I will bring it for you. Bhagwan Shri Krishna was excited, but I can't wait to see my portrait, my drawing. The next day, when the artist came, he says, Shri Krishna, I want you to stand here, stand right here. And I'm going to put the picture right next to you. And I'm going to reveal it now. And he revealed the picture. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, so does it look alike? And he turned back and he watched now. And he called one of the maidservants. And when the maidservant stood in front of the picture, and Shri Krishna, he looked now and he says, nah, it doesn't look like you. I think Bhagwan Shri Krishna, something wrong with the ears. I think you need to fix your nose a little bit. I think the hair, something, it is not right. Can you do it back, please? Do it back. The artist, he thought he did a good job. But he packed everything up and he says, can you please forgive me? I will come back tomorrow. Give me one more chance. I'll bring it tomorrow. The second day came. And when they revealed it again, nothing like Shri Krishna. It is said for 10 days in a row, he kept bringing drawings. And after 10 days, none could match up to Shri Krishna. And he says, you know what, give me a chance. I need a break now. And he walks away. And while he's walking on the streets to go, at that point, the great sage Narada, he saw this man, this artist walking by. And he said to the artist at that point, he says, listen, you can't just give up so easily. I will tell you a trick. I want you to do this trick now. This is how you'll do it. So Narad Muni gave him an idea. And on the other day, he went back into the palace now. Shri Krishna, I have created the best portrait exact today. There will be no difference to you. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, well, show me, let me see. And Bhagwan Shri Krishna is standing in front of the portrait and he reveals now, and as soon as he moves his first page, in front, there's a mirror. And to his surprise, when he looks, identical like himself. He says, hey, are you trying to trick me? And then the artist said, he says, Prabhu, I can never trick you. There can never be a permanent one like you in this world, because nothing is permanent in the world. And even if I try to draw you today, a few days from now when your body ages, you'll still look different. So why try? But what you see here is exactly what you are seeing before you. And what you will have outer, or the outer part of you, is what you will see. What you will have inside of you, that is what will be there. It will never change. What is within you will never change, and what is outside of you may change. Because we will get a little old, the hair will turn a little gray, some might fall out. Maybe the teeth might fall out at some point too. The physical appearance may change, but what is on the inside will never change. Today, my friends, it is said that while Bhagwan Shri Krishna stays in Mathura, he foresees everything that is happening. And he says, I will show the world something. You know what he does? He wants to show the world that Bhagwan will stay in the heart of everyone, not just physically. We come in a mandir because we want to see the physical Murti. I want to see Mother Durga when I pray to her. I want to see Lord Ganapati when I pray. But Bhagwan is here. If you can reach the level of devotion to sit down, close your eyes and just find that God within, it is more powerful than looking at an image to find that identity. I always ask the question, and I always tell devotees, God resides within each and every one of us. If you look at people around you, you are supposed to find that spark of God within that person. Take a look at the person next to you right now and see if you see God inside them. Take a look. Look at the person next to you. Tell me if you see God. You all see God? How many people see God in the person next to them? How many people didn't see God in the person next to them? So what is he? Zombie? Well, think about this, right? What is on the inside reflects on the outside. What is inside you is what you just saw. So if you didn't see God outside you and you saw a zombie, guess what you think the zombie really did? Inside you. What is on your inside is what will be reflected in the outside. What you choose to want to see is what you will perceive and see on the outer world. Shri Krishna, my friends, he wants to show Uddhav a lesson. So you know what he does? He tunes the mind of Radha. But he needed some help to do that. So he called upon his ardent devotee. When Lord Vishnu he lies down on his Sheshnag, Ananta, and he meditates, who does he meditate on? Lord Vishnu meditates on who? Lord? Om Hara 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 Mahadev Jai Hara 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 Mahadev Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva Brahma Vishnu Sada Shiva Hara 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 Mahadev Om Hara 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 Mahadev Om Hara 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 Mahadev. Lord Krishna closes his eyes and above now he starts to visualize, and then he opens the eyes and he peeks up and he sees Lord Shiva seated in Kailash Parvat. And he gives him the sign, Mahadev, I'm giving you the sign. You are the Lord of peace as well as you are the Lord of destruction. Please help me show Uddhav that God resides in every one of us. And Mahadev became so excited. You want my help? You really want me to help you? I've been sitting on top here for so long, and through the entire past time I've been waiting for you to now unravel everything. And Bhagwan Shankar, he becomes excited. When Lord Shiva becomes excited, what does he do? When Lord Shiva is happy, what does he do? When you become happy, what do you do? Well, actually, do tell me. I'm afraid to find out. Some people say when they get too happy, they what do you call that? Alright, don't tell me. When Lord Shiva is happy, you know what he does? He dances. And when he dances, you know how he dances? There's a particular way he dances. According to Shiva Tandava Stotra, this is how he dances. Jatatavi galajjala pravaha pavitastale Galevalambya lambitambujaṅga tunga malika. Anybody want to try to dance the Tandava? No, they do dance. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jatatavi galajala pravaha pavitastale galevalambya lambitambujaṅga tunga malika. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Bam Bam Bola. Madamardamardamardvayam chakara chandra tandavam tanotu na shiva shivam. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jata kataha sambramam brahmannilim panirjari vilolavi shivallari virajamanamutari. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Daga 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 jwalalala pata pavake kishora chandrasekhare vrati pratikjana mama. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah कटाक्ष संभ्रमं ब्रह्मन्दिरपनिर्जरि विलोलवीचि वल्लरि विराजमान मूर्धरि ॐ नमः शिवाय। जतातवे गलज्जलप्रवाहपावितस्थले गले वलम्ब्यलम्बिताम्बुजं गतुङ्गमालिकां डमड्डमड्डमड्डमन्निनादवर्धमर्वयं चकार चन्द्रताण्डवं तनोतु नः शिवः शिवं जटाकटाः सम्भ्रमं भ्रमन्ति लिम्पनिर्जरि विलोलवीचिवल्लरि विराजमानमुद्धरि डगड्डगड्डगज्ज्वलल्ललाटपत्तपावके किशोरचन्द्रशेखरे प्रतिक्षणं मम वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की, उमापति महादेव की जय। When the Lord dances, that is the dance. Jatata vi galat jala. Next time I come back to Canefield, make sure you can dance that. It is said Mahadev in Kailash Parvat, he's given an opportunity to praise God and he's so happy he starts to dance. When you get the opportunity to pray to God, you should be happy. When you get a moment to worship God, you should be totally happy. Embrace the opportunities that you've been blessed with. Today in our Katha, Radharani sits there and Mahadev will now tune in to the mind of Radha and she starts to answer Uddhav. Uddhav, you've come here to disrespect my Krishna. Uddhav, you've come to tell me to forget my Lord. Well, I will show you today. I will show you that my Lord is with me. And she sat down and she closed her eyes and she says, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna. And Bhagavan Shri Krishna, he couldn't let her down. It is said the Lord Shri Krishna is Lord of the entire cosmos. When he felt the urge and the love that she had for him, he says people will never understand that burning desire and love that a devotee will have for Bhagavan. He says, I will have to prove to the world that when that devotee wants me, I will be there. Immediately left Mathura. And he took his chariot and he decided to leave and he decided to go to Vrindavan. And while Uddhav is trying to tell her, don't worry, he's not going to come back, it is said after a period of time, lo and behold, in a distance, it is said Bhagavan Shri Krishna is seen. It is said through the doorways and the gateways of Vrindavan. It is said all the gopis and all the gopas and all the cowherd boys, they have now been blessed with the opportunity. For the stranger that they saw, for them was just a sign that the Lord will come. And riding on his chariot, holding the flag in the air, with the wind that blows the beautiful peacock feather. It is said he holds his shank, and he's coming, my friends, to Vrindavan. All because of the love of the devotee towards the Lord. All because of the love of Bhagavan Shri Krishna towards his devotee. And most importantly, the love of Radharani to her Lord. Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, Bhagavan ki jai. It is said, my friends, if you have a burning desire and you want God to be there, forget the whole world. Dedicate yourself and the Lord will come to you no matter where you are in this world. Today Radharani waited. And when the Lord came, Uddhav is saying, Bhagwan will not come. And then suddenly when he turned back, Bhagwan come in. Bhagwan coming on his chart. He says, Prabhu, but I thought you said you're not going to come. He says, I want to teach you a lesson. You can never stop a devotee from God. You can never stop me from going to my devotees. If you thought in your mind that one day I will tell you, go to Vrindavan and tell everybody, forget about me, it is not possible. But I will tell you today that whenever and as long as my devotees think of me with a mere pure thought, I will be there. Shri Gajananda Swami ki jai. This ends our katha tonight, my friends. We have 2 more nights at this beautiful Yagyashala. And tomorrow night we will go in a later part of the scripture. It is a part of Bhagavatam deals with part of the Mahabharata where Bhagavan Shri Krishna meets 5 people called the Pandavas. The Pandavas, they are known to be 5 powerful leaders who will advise people of the world as to how to live in the right way according to the words of Shri Krishna. Their teachings would have come about from Bhagavad Gita, the words that we always hear, Bhagavad Gita being given by the words of Shri Krishna. So tomorrow night we will understand a little bit in depth of the Pandavas and the connection of Lord Krishna with these 5 brothers. But for tonight, this is where we end, and we now stand for final Aarti. Our Havan Puja has been completed, and we now join as we wave the sacred light. आरती कुंज विहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज विहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज विहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। मधुर बाला बाला कवन में कुंडल जल काला काला नंद के आनंद आनंद कंद मोहन ब्रज चंद्र राधिका रमन बिहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज बिहारी की श्री गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। गगन सम अंग कांति काले काले राधिका चमक रही आली आली लतन में चरते बंद माली माली ब्रह्म से अलग कसूरी तिरक चंद से झलक ललित कवि श्यामा प्यारी की गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। आरती कुंज बिहारी की गिरिधर कृष्ण मुरारी की। जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय 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 राधा रमन हरि बोल। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं। यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दममाधवं। जय जय राधा जय जय राधा जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय राधा रमण हरि बोल। वासुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम्। वासुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनम्। देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। जय जय राधा जय जय राधा जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल, जय राधा रमण हरि बोल। राधे गोविंदा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। बिंदु परमात्मा से है मेरी आत्मा, अब चल कर ले मिलन। अनुभव कर तो परमानंद का अनुभव कर तो धन्य बना जीवन। ज्योति बिंदु परमात्मा से अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन, अब चल कर ले मिलन। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति वृंदावन में हरिलाल की, कृष्ण कन्हैयालाल की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। आसन लीजिए, अंदर शांति कर सीट्स।